This week on Granite State Challenge, the team from Mascoma Valley Regional High School takes on the team from Portsmouth High School. Only one team will advance. Granite State Challenge starts now.
Major funding for the production of Granite State Challenge is provided by Unitil. Additional funding provided by NEA New Hampshire, Safety Insurance, New Hampshire Lottery, DF Richard Energy, HRCU, Cognia, and viewers like you. Thank you. Get ready. It's time for New Hampshire high schools to match wits in a high-stakes scholastic showdown. It's time for Granite State Challenge. Here's your host, John Cannon.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us this week on Granite State Challenge. We are about halfway through the first round of our 40th Granite State Challenge season. I'll talk about that in just a second. Just want to let you know that we are keeping in place some of the same safety protocols that we had last season, and that includes the change to our third round, which is our 3 strikes and you're out round. I'll tell you a little bit more about that when we get to it later on in the game. And I wanted to let you know that because this is our 40th season of Granite State Challenge, we have a special 40th season question number 40. So we'll get there in due time. But most importantly, we've got 2 teams here ready to do battle to see who advances to the next round. Let's introduce them to you. First up, we have the team from Mascoma Valley Regional High School. They are led by senior captain Colin. Colin is joined by senior Nick, junior Logan, and Sid, a freshman. Their team is coached by John Sweetlands. Waiting to take them on is the team from Portsmouth High School. Portsmouth is led by senior captain Francis. Francis is joined by senior Rio, senior Karina, and junior Nick, and their team is coached by Hannah Duell. So those are our teams, but we do have one more introduction, and that is, of course, our judge, Ann Belanger. All right, teams, introductions are out of the way. Let's play the game. As you know, Granite State Challenge is played in 4 rounds, and in round 1, we do 10-point toss-up questions. So, Mascoma Valley, Portsmouth, grab those signaling devices. Good luck. Here we go. Plato told the story of this fictional lost city that fell into the sea. Colin of Mascoma.
Atlantis.
Correct. This bickering husband and wife pair of puppets has its origins in 16th century Italy, where the male character was known as Pulcinella. Francis of Portsmouth.
Punch and Judy.
That's it. Who was the author of the poems Paul Revere's Ride, the Song of Hiawatha, and Evangeline? Francis of Portsmouth.
Longfellow.
Yes. This state was part of Mexico until 1836. It then became its own republic, and in 1845, it became a U.S. state. Nick of Mascoma.
Texas.
Yes. This pamphlet by Thomas Paine, which was published in Philadelphia on January 10th, 1776, quickly spread across the colonies, serving as a catalyst for support of separation from England. Francis of Portsmouth.
Common Sense.
Yes. This musical instrument comes in grand, upright, and electric forms. Sid of Mascoma.
Piano?
Yes. What city did Carl Sandburg describe as hog butcher for the world, tool maker, stacker of wheat, player with railroads, and the nation's freight handler, stormy, husky, brawling city of the big shoulders in a 1914 poem? Francis of Portsmouth?
Cleveland.
Sorry, no. It was Chicago. All right, teams, what percussion instrument is named for a shape? Francis of Portsmouth?
Triangle.
That's the one. The 1973 Disney movie Robin Hood portrayed the characters as anthropomorphic animals. Robin Hood was depicted as this member of the Canidae family. Francis of Portsmouth.
Fox.
Yes. Held in Indiana, this is the largest one-day sporting event in the world. Nick of Mascoma.
The Indy 500.
That's it. This English singer-songwriter has had hits with her songs Don't Start Now and One Kiss. Colin of Mascoma.
Dua Lipa.
That's it. The 1973 song Candle in the Wind, written by Bernie Taupin and Elton John, was about this blonde screen icon. Colin of Mascoma.
Marilyn Monroe.
That is it. In 1964, this man was the first black person to win an Oscar for lead actor in a film. He won for his role as Homer Smith in the 1963 movie Lilies of the Field. We were looking for Sidney Poitier on that one. All right, teams, what are the dark areas formed by disturbances in the sun's magnetic field called? Sid of Mascoma.
Shadows.
Sorry, nope. Francis of Portsmouth?
Sunspots.
Sunspots is what we were looking for. The 3 interstate highways in the United States that run from coast to coast all end in this number. Sid of Mascoma.
8.
Sorry, no. Francis of Portsmouth?
5.
Nope, they all end in 0. Liz Cheney, the daughter of former Vice President Dick Cheney, was elected to the at-large U.S. congressional seat of this state. Francis of Portsmouth.
Wyoming.
Yes. This daily newspaper, which focuses on business, was first published in 1889 by reporters Charles Dow, Edward Jones, and Charles Bergstresser. Colin of Mascoma.
The Wall Street Journal.
That's the one. Teams, who was the author of Fahrenheit 451, The Martian Chronicles, and Dandelion Wine? Francis of Portsmouth?
Bradbury.
Yes. What is the area of a parallelogram with a base of 9 inches and a height of 4 inches? Francis of Portsmouth.
36.
That's it. You got it. What cartoon character loves spinach and olive oil? Nick of Mascoma.
Popeye.
Yes. Misquoted as Houston, we have a problem, astronaut Jim Swigert actually said, okay, Houston, we've had a problem here during this NASA mission. Colin of Mascoma.
Apollo 13.
Yes. All right, teams, our next question is a picture question, so go ahead and take a look at your monitors. The vase you are looking at was painted by this poet who lived on Appledore Island on the Isles of Shoals in Appledore House, where she welcomed writers Ralph Waldo Emerson, Nathaniel Hawthorne, and Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, and artists William Morris Hunt and Childe Hassam. Francis of Portsmouth.
Thaxter.
Cecilia Thaxter is correct. Rapper Megan Jovan Ruth Pete is better known by this stage name. Rio of Portsmouth.
Megan Thee Stallion.
That is it. This British author who created the characters Miss Marple and Hercule Poirot mysteriously disappeared for 11 days in 1926. Karina of Portsmouth.
I forgot her last name. Christy. Oh,
Do we accept that? Agatha Christie.
Agatha Christie.
You got the last name Christie, so Karina, we're going to give you the points. All right, teams. The Hermitage Museum is home to over 3 million items. It started with the collection of Catherine the Great in 1764. In what country is the museum located? Nick of Portsmouth.
Russia.
That's it. This monthly magazine, which was first published in 1969, covers music, politics, and pop culture, and has certainly gathered no moss over the years. Colin of Mascoma.
Rolling Stone.
That's it. This 1994 Quentin Tarantino film starred John Travolta as Vincent Vega and Samuel L. Jackson as Jules Winfield. Sid of Mascoma.
Pulp Fiction.
That's the one. Who followed Mitch McConnell as Majority Leader of the United States Senate in 2021? Francis of Portsmouth.
Chuck Schumer.
Yes. In a 1973 speech, this president stated that he was not a crook. Nick of Portsmouth.
Richard Nixon.
Yes. This Marvel Universe supervillain is a nemesis of Spider-Man and uses his talents as an illusionist to commit crimes. Logan of Mascoma.
Mysterio?
Correct. When Granite State Challenge first aired in 1984, the winning word, well, we're going to actually save that question for round 2. And after round 1, we've got a bit of a game here with a 120 to 150 score between Mascoma and Portsmouth. All right. Excellent job, teams. Keep it up. Well done. Round 1 is over. We're going to go into round 2. In round 2, we're going to continue with the toss-up questions, but we're going to double the point value to 20-point toss-up questions. So, Mascoma, Portsmouth, here we go. When Granite State Challenge first aired in 1984, the winning word in the Scripps spelling bee was luge. Spell luge. Francis of Portsmouth.
Luge.
That's it. Easy as that. Elvis Presley warned people not to step on his colorful footwear in this song written by Carl Perkins. It's blue suede shoes. Don't step on those blue suede shoes. All right, teams, our next question is our Unitil Power question, and it comes to you from your monitors. And just as a reminder, this is a double point question, so it's worth 40 points. Take a look.
Tim Duncan, Carl Malone, and Kevin Garnett all played this high-scoring and strong defensive position on their teams.
Francis of Portsmouth.
Power forward.
Power forward is correct. What Exeter, New Hampshire author wrote the 1981 coming-of-age novel, The Hotel, New Hampshire? Logan of Mascoma.
Robert Frost?
Sorry, no. Francis of Portsmouth.
Irving.
John Irving is correct. The fruit of this tree is often found in Mediterranean cuisine. A branch from the tree was brought back to Noah by a dove in the book of Genesis. Francis of Portsmouth.
Olive.
Yes. This punk rock band featured Dee Dee, Joey, Johnny, and Tommy, and were known for the songs Sheena Was a Punk Rocker and Rock and Roll High School. Colin of Mascoma.
Motley Crue.
Sorry, no. Portsmouth. Francis.
The Ramones.
The Ramones is correct. This Russian playwright and short story writer of works like The Seagull was first a physician and took up writing to make money. Francis, Portsmouth?
Chekhov.
Yes. Gerald Ford was selected by Richard Nixon as vice president after the resignation of Spiro Agnew under the provisions of this amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Francis of Portsmouth.
14th Amendment.
Sorry, no. Oops, sorry, Colin, just miss it, is the 25th Amendment. All right, teams, what future French emperor sold the Louisiana Territory to the United States in 1803? Logan of Mascoma.
Napoleon.
Yes. All right, teams, we have reached the 40th question of the round, which is our 40th anniversary question worth 40 points. And this question comes from season 27. Finish this Winston Churchill quotation. I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and Francis of Portsmouth?
Sweat.
Sweat is correct. In Great Britain, this strategy board game is called drafts. Francis of Portsmouth?
Checkers.
Checkers is right. These literary sisters first published their works under the names Currer, Acton, and Ellis Bell. Francis of
The
Portsmouth?
Brontes.
Yes. This composer who wrote The Stars and Stripes Forever and Semper Fidelis, the official march of the United States Marine Corps, also wrote the Washington Post March and the Liberty Bell, which was used in the opening sequence of Monty Python's Flying Circus. Nick of Portsmouth.
Sousa.
Yes. Only 10 of the close to 1,800 poems written by this Amherst, Massachusetts resident were published during her lifetime. Colin of Mascoma?
Emily Dickinson.
Correct. This singer-songwriter who got her start in 1958 while she was still a teenager as a songwriter has written or co-written more than 118 songs on the Billboard Top 100 list. Her songs include You've Got a Friend, I feel the earth move, and you make me feel like a natural woman. Colin of Mascoma.
Dolly Parton.
Sorry, no. We were looking for Carole King. All right, teams, what does the acronym ASAP stand for? Karina of Portsmouth?
As soon as possible.
That's right. Teams, most people know that founding fathers John Adams, the second president of the United States, and Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, died on the 4th of July in 1826, which they did. We're not going to get to the end of that question, but after a strong round two, Portsmouth out to a lead by a score of 410 to 160. All right, great job, teams. We are going to go into round 3 of Granite State Challenge, and in round 3, we have our 3 strikes and you're out round. Each team will be given a category with 10 questions. We'll give you 10 points for each correct response and a bonus of 10 if you get them all correct. And we're going to go down the line giving 1 question to each player. As we go down, we'll cycle back and so forth until you get 3 incorrect responses or 3 strikes. Each team also has 3 passes. So if you pass, you can pass to the next person in line. Okay? Understand? All right, excellent. Mascoma Valley Regional High School, we're going to start with you as the team trailing and Colin as the team captain. You get to choose from these categories: block party, fruits and vegetables, and say cheese.
Say cheese.
Say cheese it is. All right, Mascoma, the answers to the following will be related to cheese or have cheese in the answer. Okay? Colin, fans of the Green Bay Packers call themselves this.
Pass.
Cheeseheads.
Cheeseheads is correct. Logan, in the series The Big Bang Theory, Penny works at this chain restaurant.
The Cheesecake Factory.
Correct. Sid, what does the cheese do in the song The Farmer in the Dell?
Pass.
All right, that's your second pass, Colin.
Pass.
Okay. Nick,
It melts.
that is your third pass, and Nick, the correct answer is the cheese stands alone. Logan, you might have celebrated your birthday at this restaurant with a rodent mascot when you were a kid.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes. Sid, this children's book by John Sheshka features parodies of traditional fairy tales.
I don't know.
Yeah, out of passes, it is Stinky Cheeseman and Other Fairly Stupid Tales is the name of it. Colin, we move to you. In 1836, this president put a 1,400-pound block of cheese in the foyer of the White House and invited people to come in and enjoy some cheese and share their opinions and concerns.
Jackson.
Correct. Sorry, that was correct, Andrew Jackson. Nick, in a proverb, this was said to be made of green cheese. It is the moon, so that is their third strike, and 4 correct on your 3 strikes round. All right, Portsmouth, we turn to you, and Francis, as team captain, you can choose from the remaining 2 categories, which are block party and fruits and vegetables.
Block party.
Block party it is. All right, Portsmouth, the answers to all the following will include the word block. All right, Francis, this is something you might use when you go to the beach.
Sunblock.
Correct. Rio, Lucy calls Charlie Brown this.
Blockhead.
Correct. Karina, Donnie Wahlberg was a member of this boy band from Dorchester, Massachusetts.
Pass.
Pass. Nick?
Not sure.
Okay. It is New Kids on the Block. Francis, this is a digital ledger of transactions that is really hard to hack.
Note block.
Sorry, no, it is blockchain. Rio, this Rhode Island location is a favorite for summer tourists.
Pass.
Pass to Karina. We've
I
got
don't know.
one more pass left.
Pass.
All right, you are out of passes. Nick?
East Block.
Sorry, it is Block Island, so that is your third strikes on a tough category.
That's a rough category.
2 correct. All right. Well, we're going to move on from round 3 and go into round 4, guys. And in round 4, we pick back up with our toss-up questions. We're going to continue to award 20 points for correct answers, but we are going to be deducting 20 points for any incorrect response. So, Mascoma, Portsmouth, here we go. The Miracle Worker, originally a 1957 Playhouse 90 TV broadcast, told the story of a teacher and her young student. It was based on the 1903 autobiography of this woman. Colin of Mascoma?
Helen Keller.
Correct. In 1854, in the Gadsden Purchase, the United States paid Mexico $10 million for 29,670 square miles of land that is now part of these 2 states. Francis of Portsmouth.
New Mexico and Arizona.
Yes. All right, teams. What is the boiling point of water in both Fahrenheit and Celsius? Karina of Portsmouth.
220 degrees Fahrenheit and 100 degrees Celsius.
Sorry, that is incorrect. Mascoma. Nick?
100 degrees Celsius and 212 degrees Fahrenheit?
Yes, it was 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Correct. This city in Aroostook County in northern Maine was incorporated as Linden in 1859. Its name was changed to this synonym for reindeer in 1869. Francis of Portsmouth?
Caribou.
That's it. Mathematician Ada Lovelace was the daughter of this English romantic poet, known for works like Don Juan and Childe Harold's Pilgrimage. It was Lord Byron. All right, teams, you have pencil and paper there in case you need it. Mary can't wait for her birthday in exactly 1 week. How many minutes will she have to wait for her celebration? Sorry, ran out of time. A lot of multiplication there. It was 10,080 minutes in a week. This composer, who was the conductor of the Boston Pops from 1980 to 1993, wrote the music for the movies Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and Star Wars. Colin of Mascoma?
John Williams.
He's the one. At 31,691 square miles, this is the largest lake in North America. Francis of Portsmouth?
Lake Superior.
That's it. This writer, identified with jazz poetry, which incorporates the syncopated rhythms of jazz and blues, wrote the poems Let America Be America Again, Mother to Son, and Dreams. It was Langston Hughes. What TV series featuring FBI agents Fox Mulder and Dana Scully insisted in its tagline that the truth was out there? Logan of Mascoma.
The X-Files?
Yes. What 2 siblings tested their invention at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina? Francis of Portsmouth.
The Wright brothers.
Yes. In what state will you find the painted desert and the petrified forest? Colin of Mascoma.
Nevada.
Sorry, no. Francis of Portsmouth.
Arizona.
Arizona is the state we were looking for. This president is credited with popularizing the proverb, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen, which he credited to Judge Buck Purcell of the Jackson County, Missouri court. That president was Harry Truman. Teams, what prehistoric era would you have to travel back to meet dinosaurs? Francis of Portsmouth?
The Mesozoic era.
That is it. In what state will you find the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, which stretches 24 miles over Lake Pontchartrain? You'll find it in Louisiana. A Week on the Concord and Merrimack is a work by this author about a boat trip from Concord, Massachusetts to Concord, New Hampshire that he took with his brother John in 1839. It was Henry David Thoreau. The capital of this state is named for Otto von Bismarck, Chancellor of the German Empire. Francis of Portsmouth.
North Dakota.
Correct. What two scientists were awarded the 1962 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1962 for identifying the double helix structure of DNA? Nick of Portsmouth.
Watson and Crick.
Yep, they're the ones. Set in Florida in the early 1920s, this 1937 novel by Zora Neale Hurston tells the story of Janie Crawford. Francis
Their Eyes
of
Were Watching
Portsmouth.
God.
The Eyes Were Watching God is correct. And that sound means it's the end of the game, and at the end of the match by a score of 590 to 260, Portsmouth will be moving on to the next round. All right, congratulations, Portsmouth. We'll see you in a few weeks. And Mascoma, congratulations on your wild card win, and thank you so much for coming today to play the game. And we hope you enjoyed the match as well at home. We hope you join us next week when the teams from Conval Regional High School and Hopkinton High School face off. That'll do it for us this week on Granite State Challenge. Thanks so much for watching. I learned a lot, and I hope you did as well. We'll see you next time.
Major funding for the production of Granite State Challenge is provided by Unitil. Additional funding provided by NEA New Hampshire, Safety Insurance, New Hampshire Lottery, DF Richard Energy, HRCU, Cognia, and viewers like you. Thank you.